Hello,
Now,
hello.
now we can be heard. So we will give Clown Vapes here a little shout. Shout out for Clown Vapes.
There we go. Making it easier on us.
Yep. Use coupon code WISDOM for 10% off.
Mm-hmm.
And smooth right in. There we go.
Why is it not letting me go all the way over? Can they see our face now? There we go.
Yes. Should be
All
able
right,
to.
so what's going on, everyone? This is episode
Now we
26.
can be heard.
26. So we missed last week because of vacation and everything. I believe the last one we had was with the Reaper, right?
Yep.
So and we had a couple potatoes on Shane's channel, but that's all fine. We're working it out. We're gonna get it. We'll get there. But yeah, so we're here. It's episode 26. So bear with us if we have any technical issues, please. But if we don't, then thank you for not messing with the internet there, Shane's internet company.
Yeah. So I
uh,
still haven't made it over there to talk to them, but finally I have a day off tomorrow, so I will be making my appearance at the internet, the ISP company. So hopefully they're gonna make it right tomorrow, or I'll have a new ISP. We'll just put it that way.
nice. All right. So of course we're gonna do some advocacy, but go ahead, Shane. Tell everyone what you're vaping on this weekend. Show them a little. Show them a little what you got.
All right. Well, I got that new special from Stan, the Bathala, and kind of took James's word for it and went with a gunmetal with kind of a tried to matchy the drip tip. I don't know how well I did because I'm colorblind. So, but did my best, and that's all that matters. So in there, hashtag Banana Land, Boule Bolu. I've got my Mr. Just Right with the Dead Goat in there.
Oh
Still,
yeah, I forgot you got that black cap.
yeah, I got that
That looks
matte
good.
black.
I
Yeah,
like
I
that.
like the way it looks, and it's like matte. There's like no shine to it at all. Uh, in there, got the Paradigm Wicked Berry, and what was cool is Logan's wife Becky. Well, I say wife. He may not like that, but that's what I see her as. She had a goat, and I was like, "Hey, I have my silver or my stainless dead goat and a brand new dead goat deck if you want it." So I was
Yeah.
able to send that to him, and that way they can experience the dead goat since I have this one.
Nice,
So,
nice. And they're
and
really
then,
good people. So that's really cool that you did that.
yeah, and then got my White Dreamer with the Rebirth on there. DHD Chop Top, of course. Oh, I just threw my liquid. In there, got the IVC Parade Maker. And my everyday, all day is my Overlord with the Drop Dead. And I actually got a stubby tip from HM Half Moon Mods. It's I don't know if it'll focus on it. It's black ice. It's got a little gray, a little white with little black pieces in there. I thought it looked pretty cool with that together. Of course, got the Sad Boy Shamrock cookie in that one. And my Caliburn's floating. Oh, here it is. Always got my Caliburn floating around here. And a buddy of mine came by the other day, and I had told him to order some Shamrock cookie. He was completely not paying attention to what he ordered, and he ordered Shamrock cookie salt. So he came by, and I traded him for a bottle of my Shamrock cookie, and he gave me this. So that's what I'm rocking in my Caliburn. It's not as much mint, but it's actually more cookie to me that way.
I was just about to ask you, how's the flavor difference? I know
Yeah,
there must be.
yeah. It's not as minty as the regular, but it has more of that cookie. It's almost like you can taste the texture of the cookie, which is
Huh.
really good to me. So you get that little bit of mint, and you get it's more cookie than anything. So, but I mean it's good. It vapes. So and
So did that take that? Did that take away from your soulless
yeah,
right there?
yeah. So I've still got a little bit of that left floating around here somewhere. I don't even know where it is. So But I think that's all I've got going right now. Oh, my Unity and the Shogun, and in there the merge transmission.
All day.
Yep,
Gotta have.
and that's it for me.
All right, so I'm vaping on the Turk V2 with a DHD chop top, Bay Gold tip with the gold rings on that Vert constant contact unicorn mod. All I have to say about it is I love it. Just always check your pin, please, on these. Every time you change your battery, check your pin, or at least once a day. Is what I gotta say on that. But it's a really good mod. I really like it. Inside that, I got some of that the Turkish cake. Been loving it. I might even see. I was gonna wait and do a review later on, give myself some time on all the Turk juices and everything. But I'm more than halfway done with this bottle. I don't know if y'all can really see it because it's black. It's like right there, and I can't really help myself with that. So I'll probably be having a review coming out for that this week. Next, I got the Unicorn RDA with the Dreamer LE beater mod, all beat to hell, but still love it. Got some of that Turkish Harvest in there, running really low on that as well. Probably about like 5 mils left on it. So after that, I'll probably just throw some of this Breakfast Club in there. Kind of tastes similar, not all the way, but tastes a little bit similar. Next, I got the Mutant RDA, which I will be having a review come out for this week. I actually put some N90 Claptons in there I made up, and they're rocking pretty good. I actually like them in there. Was having some troubles with flavor on it, but getting a little better. On top of my NATO, always got to have this thing around. And inside that, I got some Cloud Nerds, Strawberry Lemon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. See, and this is the whole thing is I don't really vape like everyone. Oh, well, there's seasonal vapors. You vape summer flavors in summer. I don't do that.
No.
I vape custards in the summer, and then in the winter I vape fruit flavors. I don't know. I'm weird. I don't know what it is. Like
Yeah,
I'm enjoying this flavor right here, but not as much as I probably will in the winter for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm weird. But I got this right here inside of my other Turk V2 on top of the Dreamer. This thing is just married together. I might as well just super glue these two together because they'll never go away from each other. But yeah, I got this with that Inferno chop top on there from DHD. And that's, oh, and then I got this little thing with me. Let me grab it out. I got my Orchid pod system. Always have to have a pod system with me. I usually just keep it in my bag for whenever I'm at work. Inside that, I got some 10 milligram peanut butter cookie custard from my local vape shop. Support your local brick and mortars if they are doing the right things. So yeah, I got this, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got. So as y'all know, there has been me and Shane on Tuesday were like, man, there's not really much going on, and then all of a sudden there's just stuff blowing up since Tuesday. So there's a lot. We're gonna try to jam pack as much as we can in there. I even told Shane I think there was 6 articles put out.
Yeah.
Let's see. 6 articles put out since the 10th on Vapin magazine, and 1, 2. Who's this one from? 3, 4. I think almost all of them are from Angela. So I mean, she's killing it over there, and I know she's also writing for other things too. So I mean, she's just destroying the journalism game right now. So make sure y'all check them out. CASA has also been a really good source of information. And like we always say, Twitter is a really good source of information. But CASA, I want to give them a huge, huge shout out. They've been on top of their game these last, what do you say, maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff coming out from them.
Yeah, that's where every time I open my computer, Shane's always like, hey, did you check CASA? And there's just like update after update after update, and they're doing really good. So whatever they did over there, whatever changes they might have made, or maybe they just got some more people to devote their time to that, I'm not too sure. But whatever they did, it's working really well, and they need to keep it up because this is a website that I want to be able to open my computer and not have to worry about, okay, what websites do I have to go to? I want to be able to go to one, and that's one of the main ones I like to go to. Vape news, not really anymore. I mean, they haven't put one out since the China thing, and I think that was like 3 weeks old or 2 weeks old, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's usually Vape Bun and Kasa, and then there's other ones out there too, but Kasa's really been doing good. So make sure y'all do go join Kasa if you're not already subscribed to them. Make sure you do that because it is free, and all you have to do is just sign up.
Sorry, I hit the button too many times. It's like zoomed way
All
in.
right, we're gonna start off with the big major one that has came out, and it is the VTA, Vapor Technology Association, I believe. They are suing.
Uh-oh.
Deadline.
Hold on, Jay, you froze.
This could really change some things if it goes. Uh-oh. Did he freeze on me?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe it was me who froze.
Yeah, I don't know. You just kind of roboed there for a second, and then everything was fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, I was pretty much saying that the VTA doing that can really change a lot of things for the vapor world. I don't want to say community, but community also. But it could really change stuff for all these people out here who are. I don't want to say the people out there who are just trying to make some juice and make some money, but the people who are actually making a product for the right reason. They're making it because they're like, hey, you know what? I want to make something because this is really good to me, and I think it can help people get off the cigarettes. Those are the type of people I want to support, and those are the type of people I want to see benefit out of this. So, I mean, this is something that could really help out. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to push the deadlines back, and it's mainly because they're wanting a lot of different things. There's a lot of different, I guess, standards you could say that they're wanting on your PMTAs that are really not. A lot of companies aren't going to be able to meet those deadlines on those because there's some of them where they want a certain amount of years of studies on your liquid to make sure it's falling in line with everything else that vaping is coming out with. And if they're doing that and you're a company that just came out with your liquid, then you're not going to really have the time to do a 5-year study. So what they're doing is they're trying to buy some time to where people can actually do proper studies and not have to rush their PMTA, because this is something where they're not going to come back and say, hey, let me grade your test for you. And okay, you messed up here, you messed up here, you messed up there. They're just pretty much going to say deny or accept it. So it's going to be really hard. So, I mean, this is something that we're really going to have to look out for. And I was actually watching the Migos on the way home after the Omies, and they had the Dimitri on there. And he was talking a lot about it and how there was some companies who were trying to make a collaboration where they're all trying to throw in a PMTA at the same time because they're using the same stuff. And that's something that would be really beneficial too. But I mean, this is something that you don't want to speed through. You don't want to try to half-ass it. You don't want to try to just slap something on a piece of paper and send it into them. No, because even if you misspell one word or you misuse a word in that PMTA, that can get you denied.
Yep.
So if you use the wrong there and you're trying to use ERE instead of EIR, then you could be denied just because of your English wasn't correct. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that can get you denied, not just your actual testing and everything. You could have testing on point. You could have a 10-year testing right there, and they could still deny you just because your spelling was off. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into these. So, I mean, this is something that's really good that they are doing this. I mean, even if it just slows it down a year to where you can have people to actually sit down and pay attention to theirs, then that's something that's great. But on the other hand is don't take advantage of this and say, okay, well, they gave us, if the VTA does win this, and I don't know if there's any companies in the chat or anything, but if there is, I will ease in here. But if there is something like that where they say, okay, we're delaying it one more year, don't wait till this time the next year to do the exact same thing. Say, crap, we're behind. How are we supposed to get this in? Make sure you're on top of your game, because this is something that they're doing to try to make it to where we can get more companies in. And one of their main reasons is shutting down smaller businesses, shutting down smaller companies, people investing a lot of money into these smaller companies and little mom and pop shops that are pretty much going to get shut down. So they're pretty much looking out for not just the vape community, but for something that the president, governors, mayors, all of them are supposed to be looking out for is employment. So if they're going to do this, it's going to shut down a lot of places that are going to have employment.
Yeah, tens of thousands of jobs across the U.S.
Oh yeah, and then like we always say, that's going to shut down some of UPS or your local post office or FedEx or wherever you order your stuff through. It might not make a huge major hit, but it's going to be okay. Well, we're not getting as much mail in lately because people aren't ordering off of Tenacious TX vapes no more. But I mean, it's going to be something where they're going to notice something's going to be slowing down, and they're going to have to maybe lay a couple people off. It might not be millions or thousands. It might be a couple hundred, but think about it. That's still a couple hundred that are getting laid off that the government does not want to have laid off, but they want to do something else.
Right.
And the backfire from that is it's going to actually be worse for them. It's going to go against what they're telling everyone they want to do.
Right. And think about the people, especially like in where Liv lives. Liv lives.
Yep.
It's very hard to ship e-liquid into the state where she lives. I don't know if it's Indiana I think it's Indiana.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't, and Arkansas is the same way. You can't ship e-liquid to Arkansas. So think about how much harder it's going to be for those people, especially the brick and mortar are going to have to go away. Well, then how are those people going to get their vapor products? They're not. There's going to be no way for them to get them unless they make a huge, kind of like they do the state alcohol store, the state liquor store. They'll have to make a state vapor store.
Yeah.
Which they'll end up making all the money off of that, and they'll charge whatever they want to for it because they don't have to compete with anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then also kind of like where Liv lives. That's a hard one to say.
Yeah.
Good job, Shane.
I had to slow down.
Tongue twisters. But also where she lives, there's not a lot of brick and mortars near her, so that's something that's really harder for her too. And I mean, I'm not just saying just for her, but there's a lot of other people out there who it's hard for them to get to a brick and mortar because they don't have one as in their convenience like me and you do. I know I have one that I could walk to. It'll take me less than 5 minutes to walk to. To drive, it takes me 2 seconds, and I pass it every day when I come home and when I go to work.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's stuff like that, and I know you have, I think, 2 near you.
Yeah, there's 2 right here in town, and then there's one about a mile from my office. So I have access to 3 that are just right close to wherever I am, pretty much day in and day out.
Yeah, and same thing with me near my work. I have probably within at least a 10-mile radius, I probably have at least 20, maybe more. There's a bunch around my work because it's in Arlington, Texas, by the Cowboy Stadium, Ranger Stadium. So there's a lot of things there. There's a mall. So I mean, there's vape shops everywhere. Down pretty much every road, there's a vape shop, any major road.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm lucky for that, but there's a lot of people who aren't lucky for that, who have to drive a 2-hour trip. Like I have a buddy who, his parents or his grandparents live, I think, 2 hours away from the closest Walmart or like convenience store or anything like that. So whenever they go to do their grocery shopping, they do a month's worth in that one time of grocery shopping. So it's going to be the same way for vapors. You're going to have to take that 2-3 hour trip, and you're going to have to buy you a couple bottles of juice. Okay, well, maybe I need some batteries just in case something happens. And then say when your batteries get some nick in it, well, how are you supposed to get batteries now? Well, yeah, you can store them off of Amazon, but I mean, if it's something else like vapor related, like coils or something, it's going to be kind of hard for you to get that shipped to you. So you're pretty much got to wait till the next month to be able to go pick something up for you to run your setup on.
Right.
I mean, this is something that, like me and Shane said, the VTA doing this is going to be a really huge help if this does, even if they lose it, but it delays another couple months or if it does something, that's going to be a huge impact, and it's going to be something that's going to be really big. So, I mean, if you're a company and you haven't started your PMTAs yet, please start them. If
Yep.
this is something you're interested in keeping alive, please start them. If you're just kind of like, you know what, I don't have the money for it, it's something I'm not interested in, I'm just going to pull out now, then that's fine. But if you are a company, don't sit there and complain later on whenever you haven't even started yours, and then it comes around the time where they're supposed to be submitted, because that's going to be pretty much on you.
Yeah. Well, that's think about the who was that you sent me that thing on Instagram? Uh, Charlie's chalk dust. The guy walking
Yeah.
around. Yeah, we
Oh
got
yeah,
the
they had a huge photo
Lambo
shoot.
and
Mm-hmm.
got the Range Rover and got all this photo shoot. And it's like, I wonder how their PMTAs are. I wonder if they're finished.
Yeah.
Or have they
Yeah,
even
and
started?
I even messaged them too, and they didn't say nothing.
Uh,
I know that they support advocacy, so I know they know what's going on.
right. But it's the simple fact, and I understand they're branching out into clothing and things like that. But is that going to be your bread and butter? Is that your backup plan? Is that your new focus? If it is, you kind of need to get away from Charlie's Chalk Dust because that is a vapor brand. That is a vape
Yeah,
brand. That's how it started.
yeah,
And
and I don't know about a clothing brand being called Charlie's Chalk Dust. I don't know
yeah,
how.
it just yeah, it
That's a
doesn't
little
say.
weird.
Yeah, it kind of sounds weird.
Yeah, but yeah, that I mean that's some things that's kind of made me angry. And it's the companies you see complain about it. And I'm not saying that they complained about it or any other company complained about it, but the companies out there who, oh, we can't, there's no way we can meet this, or the vape shops, oh, there's no way we can meet this, and you haven't even started them or haven't even rough draft them or haven't even got with a lawyer or anything yet to try to see what you can do or where you can find help. Or I mean, everyone knows someone who graduated college, or everyone knows someone who in high school or college that was really good at English,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe forms or whatever. Like we had a lady at our work who was a whiz in Excel, and anything on a computer she could do, no problem. You just say, hey, I need this, and she would have it done. But I mean, there's people out there who can help you, but the people who aren't doing that and they're going out there, and we hate seeing this where they're spending their Lambo money, and they have Lambo money, Range Rover money, and it's all just for a little photo shoot. That's I mean, I don't know how much it costs to rent a Lambo. I probably should have asked when we were in Houston, because there was a bunch of places where you could rent sports cars and supercars. I
Yeah.
probably should have asked to see how much it is, but even if you're just renting it, I can't see it under $1,000 for half a day. I could see it maybe like 2,500 for a whole day, something like that. But I think it's like $5,000 or something like that for one liquid to
Mm-hmm.
be go through the PMTA. So it's somewhere around that range, 5, 7, something like that. But you're spending your money on that to show off and show off your brand. But why are you going to show off your brand within a couple months? You won't even have your PMTAs in, and you're not even going to have a brand no more.
Right.
You're going to be having to go black market, and
Yep.
there's no real. You can't really promote then, because if you do, then you're breaking the law.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but black market is also going to be hard to come by. It's not going to be easy. A lot of people
Yep.
think, well, I'll just DIY. Well, they're also going to get a hold and regulate the nicotine and the VG and the PG, and
Yeah.
they may even try to go to the flavors, and
Yeah.
may hit up those sites and say, hey, you can't sell this anymore, depending on what people are going to use it for.
Yeah.
I know a
And then if
lot
you
of the
think,
I know a lot of the flavors they use are the same things people use for cake frosting and candies, and the artificial flavoring. So it'd be really hard to regulate that part, but regulating the nicotine, that'll be easy. So
mm-hmm,
if somebody wants to go completely zero, then I think you'll be okay because you could probably still get VG, PG, and flavorings. But if you
mm-hmm,
if you depend on that nicotine, and you say I'll just DIY, I'm not worried about it, then I think you're going to have a rude awakening. And it's either going to
yeah,
be they're going to regulate the crap out of this nicotine, or the people that are selling it, the price is probably going to double or triple because they're going to gouge the crap out of everybody because they know what you're doing with it.
yeah. And I don't think that. Well, I know that like VGPG, there's no real difference in like food grade and what we use in vaping, because it is food grade.
Right.
But flavoring, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit different than what someone puts in a cake. So I mean, And I'm pretty sure people don't use as many flavors as what we use in cakes as we use for vaping. So I mean, this is something that you're really gonna have to look out for. Is okay, well, yeah, these websites will still be up. Well, the websites you buy from now, they won't be like all the DIY websites you buy from now. They won't be around if they don't get their PMTAs in and all this other stuff goes on and online sales gets banned. You won't be able to buy from those websites. So then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to go to like Amazon or other places, and it might have a different tasting flavor. If you're making a certain juice or a certain liquid, they don't use the same strawberry in this liquid as they do in other liquids. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be a lot of different changes, and you might not like it, and I mean it's gonna be way different. And then like E said, you can get VG and PG at Walmart. It's not great quality, but it's available. See, exactly, you can get it, but it's not the same quality as what we get for vaping.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the exact same, but the quality is going to be different. It's not like we sit there and we temper with it or anything like that, but we make it a little bit more pure, a little bit more better for coils and stuff like that. But I mean, and then like the nicotines out there, that'll be like you said, especially hard to get unless you know someone who can sit there and make their own nicotine. Which if they do that, they might have a cash grab right there, real quick.
Oh yeah, they could make hand over fist if they start selling nicotine. So
Mm-hmm.
especially once it gets close and people really start freaking out, and the DIY people start just buying everything up, it wouldn't surprise me if the price went up.
Yeah,
Uh, you
yeah,
know, there's a crisis, and the people out there, and there's some companies. I'm not going to put them all. I'm not going to paint that broad brush. There's some companies that will not do that, but I'm
mm-hmm.
sure there's plenty of other ones out there that will.
Yeah.
Somebody will try to order it. Oh, this used to be $50 and now it's 150. Well, that's because we know that you have to have it. We know what's going on. We've done our research, and if you want it, this is how much it costs.
Yeah, because they know that a bakery is not going to buy off a vaping website because of their PG and VG or their flavorings.
Right.
But like he said right here, there is different types of grades that they use different materials to make those grades, and I believe plum was one of them. And I know that some people were getting really antsy about that because something about I can't remember what it was. But there was I can't remember what it was, but there was someone who was making flavoring or PGVG or something like that out of a fruit or a plant or something like that, and everyone was getting real antsy about it. So everyone, I know there for a while, people would put, oh well, this is this free. We're not using this to make ours and everything. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be hard. Pretty much is what we're trying to say. It's gonna be hard no matter what grade you get on PGVG, nicotine, flavorings. It's gonna be hard for you to DIY. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely if you DIY, I'm not telling you to go sit out there. And this is one thing everyone does is, oh, well, make sure you go and buy as many bottles of the juice you like, or as many coils, or drip tips, or RDAs, or whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you to go do that because by me telling you to go do that means that you're going to go out there and you're going to do that and you're going to forget about advocacy. What we need to do is we just need to fight this. I'm not saying go sit there and throw rocks at your senator or governor's window at his work or anything like that or at the office, but we need to fight this. We need to make sure we're sending our emails. We need to make sure we're calling, handwritten letters, make appointments, set up appointments. Twitter, like we always say, Twitter is a really good place
Yep.
to be able to communicate with anyone. Anytime I see an article that says a name of such and such did this or such and such did that, the first thing I do is I go to Twitter and I go to see where they are at with what they're saying because you can easily follow them because then you can change their mind real quick. I'm not saying that they will change their mind, but it's something to where you can try to change their mind. And if they do change their mind, that's one community or one city or one county or one state that you might have helped out right there. So Twitter is a huge place. So anyone that we do talk about on here or any company or any FDA or anything like that, make sure you do go follow them on Twitter if you do have Twitter, because that's a really good way to be able to get involved and actually talk to some of the people because that's where a lot of the politicians are. They're not going to be over there on Instagram or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The echo chamber, as Reaper called it.
yeah, yep. I saw something on here in the chat.
Yeah, while you're paused, I saw Jen's comment about I buy really good quality for
Yeah.
DIY.
Oh, it,
Plus,
it was a
I buy juices I want. I'm definitely not buying my base at Wally World.
yeah. Yeah. No. And there was one where the Everyday Vapor said, "Well, Dripmore has Lambos. They're doing CBD now as well. So yeah, they're trying to find a backup plan. Honestly, their new marketing, I still don't like it. I saw their new liquids that they just came out with. I still don't like their new marketing. It to me, it still looks not not acceptable for the vape community or what we would see as acceptable. Like to me, this right here, super acceptable, super clean. Has
Yep.
your warning, has another warning, has all the other stuff on there. Turks juices, the Breakfast Club. I think they did a really good job with their relabeling. This is super clean, super simple, and really easy. The only thing I don't like is that I don't see a warning label on here.
Oh,
But I mean, like Turks juices,
yeah.
all all it is a logo,
Yeah.
and then the warnings. That's it.
IVC is another one.
IVC,
Yeah.
yeah, their labeling is really good,
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, that's all it
Like
is.
Clouds Nerd, it's not really questionable.
Yeah.
This isn't really that questionable. I mean, it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
just the lettering. But I mean,
Yeah.
if they're gonna start going after us for what lettering we use, then they're
Right.
just obviously trying to get rid of us. You
Yeah.
already know that, but
And I don't have a
that'd be
problem.
just
I don't have a problem with the colors or the letterings. My biggest thing
yeah,
was,
me either.
like Vapetasia used to have the little cartoon character. That's what most of us had a problem with. You know, I know Graham Slam
Mhm.
had a big to do a while back about their marketing and branding, and there was a bunch of other ones, but I think I would say 99% of those people have fixed those things now. So I don't see where that shouldn't be a problem anymore. To be honest,
I
people,
don't think. I think that most people have Jam Monster. I know they still have their little itty bitty monster on theirs. They haven't got rid of that. I don't know why.
yeah,
I mean, they're if they took away the little itty bitty monster, it would just be a clean label, and it
yeah,
would just it's still colorful. It still looks cool. It still looks good. But like I think it was Dripmore's their new one that just came out. I think it's bubblegum flavors. All the fruits on there, they don't look like regular fruit. They look like the Runts candy. That's what they look like to me. And I was like, man, what the heck?
yeah,
Like we understand that y'all candy flavors and everything like that, but I mean, just make a simple label.
yeah,
I'm not telling everyone to go out there and make it basic and clean like this, but do your own twist. But don't sit there and put little monsters and little figures on yours because it's just going to make you look worse later on down the road, and
yeah. I
it
mean,
makes the whole community look worse.
even like this, it's kind of colorful and has different designs on it, but it's just the name, their logo, the warning, and that's it.
Yeah, and a flag as the background. I mean, make something
Yeah,
simple as your background.
yep,
Even if it's just vapor, like how Cloudsner does, they have like vapor going around the background with
yeah,
their color. That looks cool. I mean, if they had a package of nerds and they had the little nerd dude running around on it, then
yeah.
yeah, that wouldn't look good on
Hmm.
us. I mean, I think a lot of the companies really did well with their labeling, with the relabeling actually.
Yeah,
Like I think it was Sad Boy. Their new ones, they just don't have the little guy who's disintegrating on there anymore. I mean, that was super easy for them, and they're just like, yeah, it's okay, it's whatever. Yeah, it sucks that we have to do it, but it's whatever. They weren't like super pissed off about it. They were just like, yeah, it's fine. We're gonna
yeah,
finish selling out with what we have, and then the new labeling will all come out, and that was cool. But then you have companies out there who are bitching about it, and yeah, I understand bitching about some stuff, but whenever it's something that we need to do to be able to survive as a community and and as your company where you make money from, then yeah, it's something you really shouldn't fight too much. You should fight it, but then once they're like, hey, okay, there's no going back on it. We're done with it. This is like the last words. Like pretty much when your parent says, I'm not telling you. This is the last time I'm telling you. When it gets to that point with the FDA telling us that, then we're like, okay, we should just change it and just drop it.
yeah. And
Because I mean, it's something that we could do.
E put in the chat that he thought he made adult oriented branding. So do I. And I don't know why people
Yeah,
would bash him for it. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've got it right here. It's simple. I mean, it
it's a
just,
neon sign.
yeah, it says Grindhouse, today's special, Americano. It's got a coffee cup. That's all. I mean, let me get my
Yeah.
face out of the way because I have
It
it set
reminds
on
me
that.
of like a it reminds me of like an old school diner going
Yeah,
in there and getting a coffee. That's what it reminds me
yeah.
of. I don't see that as it reminds me of going to Chuck E. Cheese or anything. No, it
No,
reminds me of going to an old school diner. It
yeah.
looks cool. It looks
I'm
good.
I'm showing my age, but I remember that makes me think about Mel's Diner off of Alice, and you're way too young to even know anything about Alice. So somebody out there in the chat probably does. So uh,
There, we'll start the topic. Here's one. This is one that I kind of want to talk about, and this is just because I don't know. I kind of want to see what direction this goes in, and it's honestly it's not a whole lot of. I mean, it is a lot of money to a lot of people, but to me, I don't see this as a lot of money coming from Trump. It says Trump donates $100,000 to the Office of Surgeon Generals to funding upcoming public health advisory, and I'll drop the link in the chat. But I don't see this as him like giving them a whole lot of money, knowing how much money Trump has and everything, and his dad giving him a small loan of $1 million when he was a teenager, so that way he could start his business. I mean, I don't see this as a lot of money coming from him. So I mean, this is something where it's like, well, I mean, if you're only giving him $100,000, I mean, most times some of these studies are way more than that.
yeah, exactly.
Um, Yeah, but I mean, this is something where he's gonna fund the next coming one, and it says of his this is gonna be of his own second quarter salary. He's gonna be giving it to them, so it's his own money. It's not like he's using money that he's getting endorsements from and everything like that. But he says the president recognizes the important mission to the Surgeon Generals to protect and improve the health of all Americans, including helping to tackle the opioid epidemic and raising awareness of the dangers of e-cigarettes. Yeah, e-cigarettes and use e-cigarette use among teens and children. The White House said in a statement. And the third salary donate by president to the. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much he's giving it to him, and yeah, the first part of it, yeah, I really like that. He's giving him money to fight the opioid epidemic, but then you got to throw in this BS of the dangers of e-cigarettes among children and teen vaping epidemic. Yeah, screw that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
But wow, I don't want to say, because every time I say this, it's in my head. It seems like, dude, don't say that, because you're making it seem like it's okay for teens to vape. But honestly, if there's teens out there vaping, I would rather have teens out there vaping than on opioids. That's
yeah.
just me.
Or
Don't take it the
smoking.
wrong way. Where Texas Cloud Town, he's a jackass. He's over there saying that they should be vaping. What a jackass!
Yeah,
No, I'm sitting there saying that I would rather have teens vaping than on opioids and drugs and prescription drugs that don't belong to them. Yes, if they're prescription drugs that do belong to them, then that's fine. If they have to be on an antidepressant or they have to be on an what is it, ADHD or ADD medicine, then that's
yep,
fine. But then whenever they're like, hey, I could take this medicine I'm taking and I could sell it to other people, that's whenever it becomes wrong.
yeah,
And I mean, I'm not gonna say I was the smartest kid in school and I didn't do stupid shit like that. I was a dumb kid. I did some dumb stuff in school. I did some really dumb stuff while in my high school years and everything. But I mean, vaping honestly wasn't one of them. But I mean, it's just stupid that we're having to go through this, and now we're being because okay, we were getting grouped together with the marijuana and the cannabis and the CBD cartridges that
hmm
were made at Billy Bob's house down the road. He was selling them out of the back of his Ford pickup, and then now we're being grouped with opioid epidemic, and someone's giving them money so that way they can fight opioid and vaping epidemic. To me,
yeah,
that's total BS because I mean, if they look at the real science on it, they should be like, okay, yeah, this is not an epidemic, but this is something that we should tackle, that teens should not be doing this. So yes, let's go ahead and let's tax these people. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's enforce the law a little better. let's try to get a little bit of money out of them, and let's see what they're really about. Let's see if they're really about teens vaping, or if they're just about making money, or if they're really about, okay, yes, we only want this to adults. But no, you want to put us in the same group as, okay, lung disease because of THC cartridges made out of Bob's house, and then now we're getting grouped with opioids. To me, it's just BS, and it's just they're trying to put vaping with the worst classes you can think of to do that, and it's terrible.
Yeah. And here's the thing. People are going to take, and this is kind of something a little, it's a different kind of take on it, but all of the studies that are out there about this epidemic, people are going to take these numbers and see them how they want to see them. This past week at my job, we have a wellness program. Well, we had our yearly wellness meeting with everyone in the office, and they got on the subject of vaping. And in their health questionnaire, they had on there, this was earlier in the year, they had on there, do you smoke tobacco? Do you chew tobacco? Do you use electronic tobacco? Or I don't use tobacco. So
So when they say electronic tobacco, they're talking about the IQOS, right?
I don't know. So I put on there, I don't use tobacco because I don't. And so they were talking about vaping in this meeting, and they popped up this slide, and it's one of five high school kids have tried or are vaping, and it was like one out of, or 3 out of 20 middle school kids have tried or are vaping. And I sat there for a second and I was like, okay, I understand your slide, but I can't sit back and let you demonize this to everybody else in this room.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I said, I understand your facts and I see where you got them from. I said, but I said, you say one of five are have either tried or are vaping. Okay. What about 4 out of 5 aren't vaping or have not tried vaping?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying 25% have tried it or are using it. Okay. So 4 out of
Mm-hmm.
5 means 75% aren't using it or haven't tried it. I said, is that an epidemic? 25% constitutes an epidemic? I said, there's no way. I said, if you raw numbers, there's no way. And I said,
If it was opposite, then yes, I could see it as epidemic.
right.
Yeah.
I would even give them 50%. If you said
Oh yeah.
50%, I would say, okay, we're at epidemic range, is the way I would
Yeah.
word it. But four out of 20 or 3 out of 20 of middle school kids, so 17 out of 20 haven't tried it or aren't using it. I said, how is that an epidemic? And if you take their 1 out of 5 numbers, that means you've got 2 out of 10, you've got 4 out of 20. Those numbers are going to keep going higher. So, if you get to 100, you're looking at 5 out of 100 kids. The high school here, I would say probably, I don't know. They do high school weird around here. It's 7th grade through 12th grade. That's just a little different for me because 9 through 12 was always high school for me. But I think 7 through 12 they have 1,100, 1,200 kids. So by their study, I can't remember where they got their study from, but according to the study that they showed to us during this meeting, that means so you would have 50 50 kids out of that entire 1,200, or well, just go for 1,000. So 50 out of 1,000 kids have tried vaping, and
Mm-hmm.
that's an epidemic. I don't see it. Now, I don't agree, and this is the same thing I told them. I said, I don't agree with kids vaping, but I don't see it as the federal government's problem to fix unless they want to come in to the vape shops and say, if we find that you have sold to a minor, your fine will be astronomical. And if we find that you sold to someone that gave it to a minor, then they need to go after the person that gave it to the minor or sold it to the minor. The minor should
Yeah.
be forced, well, not forced. The parents should make the minor tell the police where they got the vapor product from because it is illegal. The same thing with anyone under the age of 21 having alcohol in their car. They should have to tell where they got the alcohol from, and that person contributing to the delinquency of a minor is what it's called in the law terms. They do it all the time for alcohol. That's what needs to be enforced by government, state, city, county, federal, doesn't matter. That needs to be enforced with vapor products. Okay? Number one. Number two, be a fucking parent. That's the biggest
Thank you.
problem. People want to be their friend. I just don't want to tell them no because they're going to be mad at me. And I want them to have everything I didn't have. I do too. I want my kids to have such a better life than I had. I had a great life. Not saying I didn't. My dad was, or still is, my dad's awesome. He's always been there. He's always done everything for me. Anytime, even today, I could pick up my phone and say, "Hey, Dad, I'm in a pinch. Can you help me?" "Sure. What do you need?" That'd be the only question
Hmm.
asked. So, but of course, I want my kids to have everything I didn't have to a point. I'm not going to bend over backwards and make them brats and make them spoiled. We went and got my wife a new car today, and the lady that we were the salesperson, she was super awesome. She was talking about a guy came in and was buying his daughter it was a used BMW. Of course, that really doesn't matter. Used or new, a kid don't need a BMW. I'm sorry. Unless they go out
No.
and buy it themselves, then hey, I'm fine with it. If they save up their money, they can buy anything they want. But the guy was in there. He got the car. They detailed it. It was. She said it looked almost brand new. There wasn't a scratch on it. And he brought his daughter up there to pick it up. And she said, "I don't like black."
Oh God.
And I was like, I wouldn't care. I would just say, okay, well, let's just cancel the whole deal then. And I would turn around and leave.
Yeah.
There, and no, you cannot have my dad's phone number. Uh, even though if you called him and said, "Hey, I'm Shane's friend. I need some help. Can you help me?" He probably would. But anyway, but that's kind of the story that I have today. Is you want everything for these kids, and we all see kids that have had a rough life. There's not many people out here who have grown up in a stable home with both parents, either mom and stepdad or mom and dad. You know, to me, that doesn't matter. I'm a stepdad. My kids are my kids. You know, they're not hers and mine. They're ours. You know,
Yeah.
when my daughter graduated high school, I was at her graduation. Her dad wasn't. When my daughter was a senior in the pageant at father daughter dance after the pageant's over, she didn't dance with her dad. She danced with me because I was the one that was there, and I'm the one that's always been there. Not saying anything bad about her dad, whatever. It is what it is. But I am her father. Her dad is her dad. You know,
Yep.
and it's one of those things that now she's 21, so she can do whatever the hell she wants to. I don't regulate any of that anymore. But of course, if she ever needed anything, I would be there, and if she needed advice, I would be there. But to the people that have the kids that really didn't have that great of a life, those kids need somebody to look up to. And if you can be that person and educate them on why you don't need to do this, there's a part of the brain that isn't fully developed until you're in your 20s, 23 to 25. And from what the study said in the wellness conference was that's part of the brain that's affected, that nicotine does affect. It affects some way. that part of the brain. They didn't really explain it. So, having kids get this addiction so early, it will affect their brain the same way it's affected ours. You know, nicotine
Mm-hmm.
changes your brain chemistry. Not just necessarily nicotine, but everything in a cigarette combined with nicotine changes your brain chemistry. So we're already changed. So we can make a difference with these kids and let them know the reasons why they shouldn't. Just not, no, you can't have it, you're not old enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've rambled long enough. I'm sorry. I just, I get off on
No,
my, I'll step off my soapbox now.
that BMW story you told me about reminds me of like those cartoons you see where the rich dad's there with the little girl, and no, I said I wanted a brown and white spotted pony, not a
Yeah.
white with brown spotted pony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, princess gets what princess wants. That's the type of, oh
Yeah.
goodness, I can't stand that stuff. And the thing is, my daughter, she gets so spoiled by her grandparents that sometimes she gets that way, and when she gets back to our house and she starts doing that, I'm like, oh, here we go,
Yeah.
time to break her from that. But yeah, I mean, it is like Shane said it though. That's not a real epidemic. If you say 1 in 5, that's only 20%. The other 80 is, that's not, to me, that's not an epidemic. Even if it was 30, when it, like you said, when it gets to 50, that's an epidemic. But then when you want to, the thing that makes me the most mad is when you want to group us with something that's way worse. Like, okay, first it was tobacco products, which is true, smokeless tobacco and combustible tobacco products. Okay, yeah, fine. First, you want to do that. Okay, yeah, we're gonna fight that. Then then they're not even grouping us like actually it's a law getting grouped together, but then they want to kind of like I don't want to say demonize. They want to play us down to where they're gonna group us with stuff that is illegal in some states but legal in others. Okay, f off on that one. Then you want to do it to where there's stuff where it's not legal in any state. That's where it really pisses me off, because it's like, okay, now you want to sit there and you want to say that you're gonna put us in the same group of an epidemic as opioids, which are killing people and making people go suicide, or making people to where they don't remember what happened the next day. If I vape on any kind of, I don't care what the nicotine is. Even if it's 24 milligram freebase nicotine, I put it in a dripper. It's not gonna make it to where I can't remember the next day, and I might have accidentally killed someone, but I'm just laying in a field naked and I have no clue what happened. No,
Sounds like
and
my
these
kind of
cigarettes
party.
are not gonna give you. Yeah, that's some kind of buzz if a vape does that to you, honestly. But I mean, they're doing that to where, like, I've had friends who I've seen their lives get torn apart because of drug use. And when they say, "Oh, well, marijuana is a drug that is a, or cannabis, whatever you want to call it, is a drug that is a gateway drug," and now they're saying vaping is a gateway to this and that. No, it's not. Marijuana is not even a gateway to other drugs. Your mental state and what you want to do is your gateway. Marijuana is not something that's going to tell you, "Hey, go do cocaine now." Oh, hey, go do an opioid. Oh, hey, get something else that's illegal. No, it's not going to do that. That is but no, it's not, that's not going to do that to you. It's your mental state of what you want to do. And teens and kids and people who don't really think about about the rest of the people around them and think about the rest of their life or anything like that, they think that way. Oh, hey, let me go get something illegal. It's going to give me a rush. It's going to give me a rush because I have something illegal in the car with me, and when I get home, I'm going to be even more in a rush because now I have something going through my blood and it's messing with my brain. Yeah, that's eventually killing your brain. But stuff like cannabis, and I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm a huge cannabis smoker," or anything like that, because it's illegal in Texas and everything. And but if there was once it does start getting legalized, there is great health benefits from it. I know a bunch of bodybuilders who use it. They use it because, first of all, it helps relieve stress and anxiety. Second of all, it helps with relaxation, and when your muscles are relaxed, it helps you recover faster. So there's a whole lot of different ways that can help you, not just with bodybuilding and other stuff like that, but like I have a mother who has intracranial hypertension, and
Mm.
yeah, it's a huge word, and it's just pretty much means you have a migraine 24/7.
Yeah.
So it means you have a kid who's a pain in the ass like me, I guess. But no, in all seriousness, she has this disease, and it's a full on disease that there is no cure for it. And pretty much 24/7, there is not a time or a day where she goes where she is not having a migraine. There's some days where it's a little less, some days where it's a little more. So there's some days where she's like, "Hey, let's go out and do something." And then most of the other days she's like, "Hey, I'm staying my ass at home in bed. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch TV all day, and I'm probably gonna go to sleep at 7 o'clock." And it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But there's stuff that can help with things like that. But then you want to sit there and you want to bash other things, and we got way off topic. But what I'm pretty much trying to say is, I'm an advocate for stuff that's going to help people out. If a medical, or if something that is something that is legal and it can help you, then yes, I'm all for it. But if it's something where you have it to where it's legal for your consumption and you're selling it or giving it or doing whatever with it, then no, I am not for that. I'm 100% against that, 120, 200, whatever percent against it, because that is something that is terrible, and it makes it worse on everyone else, because then there's all these other epidemics. And then if you're doing that, you're not thinking about your child's life. You're not thinking about all the other people in your life who care about you. Same thing with vaping and with smoking cigarettes. If you're going out there and you're buying your teen cigarettes or a vaping product and they're only 14, 15, 16, 17, that's terrible. You're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking about their long-term health. We don't have 100% studies. I know there's a lot of studies on vaping, but there's not 100% studies on the long-term effects. And like Shane said, your brain is developing until you're what, 23, 20, I think it's 23 for men and 25 for women, or
Yeah.
it's opposite or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. So I mean, even doing any kind of nicotine product before those ages, it could mess with what your brain's still developing and your growth spurts and all other things like that. That's why they say, oh, well, don't smoke before you're this age because you still have growth spurts. Don't drink caffeine before this age because you still have growth spurts, because they know they're addicting products. And they're not saying, okay, if you go out there and do it one time, and remember, I am not a doctor. I do not have any kind of degree or anything. So if I'm saying something that's total BS, don't listen. But I'm trying to speak my mind. But that's why they say, oh, well, these are addicting products, because if you go out there and you do it one time, you might hate it, but most times people get addicted to it, like caffeine. I can say I don't have a huge caffeine addiction. I like the flavoring on most of them, but it's a lot of the times where people get addicted to caffeine. They get addicted to opioids. They get addicted to nicotine. And once you get addicted to it, it's very hard to break that. That's why they try to warn people. That's why we have warning labels all over bottles of
Yep.
vaping liquid. It's so that way you see it and you know, okay, this is addicting. If I do this one time and I like it, I'm probably going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's one thing right there. And it's just that's pretty much getting back on a topic. I hate whenever they want to do it to where it's something that pretty much makes the vaping industry look like an illegal drug or something that's going to kill you, because it's something that's not. It's something that's the complete opposite. It's something that's supposed to help you. It's supposed to be a harm reduction product, and something that's supposed to be way better for you. But then you have people who don't have the knowledge, who just want to speak out of their ass or just want to use whatever words to try to hurt a community because they're getting paid to do it, and they have a higher platform on whatever kind of media they're using, news or whatever. They're doing that and they're getting paid to do it. So when they're getting paid to do it, they're like, yeah, sure, you're gonna throw an extra $10,000. Yeah, I'll say vaping is terrible and we're gonna compare it to opioids. Once they do that, then everyone in the general public sees it. Once the general public sees it, then it gets really bad.
Yeah.
So
And it's one of those things. If you don't understand it, shut up. It's that simple. Go do the research and find out about it, and then come speak about it. You know, somebody tells me something and I'm like, I don't think that's right. I'm not just going to say, hey, that's wrong, because I may be wrong. If I don't know, I'm not going to speak on it. I may give you my opinion. You know, the same thing we do here. Just about everything we state about this and that and that and this is our individual opinion. Except if if we're reading an article and it states facts, then it has facts. But
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing is big tobacco and big pharma finally noticed vaping whenever their bottom line started slipping. That's when they
Mm-hmm.
noticed, not beforehand. When they saw, in if you anybody out there has done any kind of accounting, you have the black line and you have the red line. And as long as that black line is above the red line, you're okay because you're making money. Once they saw that black line start inching down and that red line start inching up, then they noticed vaping.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they went out and they had their researchers throw out all this junk science about it, so to try to demonize it. Kind of the same thing they were doing in that meeting, and that's why we're here right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're here
Yep.
to advocate, number one, but we're also here to state our opinions and state the facts about what vaping really is. And that's
Yep.
that's huge for me, and I know it is for Jay. Uh, and I know most of the time we're speaking to the choir. You know, everybody here in the chat and whatever is probably a vapor and know who we are and kind of follow us and like us, hopefully. Uh, but what we need to do is kind of get out of our comfort zone and get out there like the antis do and really spread the facts, the true facts of what vaping is. What is in a vape? Another thing they said in this meeting was, well, we don't know what's in that vape e liquid. And I said, yeah, you do. Here's the ingredients. And I showed them on a bottle. I said, you have four ingredients. You have PG, you have VG, you have nicotine, you have flavorings. And I explained, this is the same flavorings that they use in candy. In, I don't know necessarily baking, but I know a lot of people will use, the little bottles of flavoring when they're doing uh, cakes and things like that if they can't get the flavor the way they want it with true non-artificial flavoring. I know my wife's
Mm-hmm.
done it before with strawberry frosting. She's used a couple of drops of some little strawberry artificial flavoring. So that's the real point that we want to get across on this show, so you guys out there, and not just you guys, I'm talking about us too, is to actually get out there and spread the true facts of here is XYZ. This is exactly what it is, not not what Joe Schmo told you or the lobbyist told your senator and your senator put out a statement about it. This is not true. This has been twisted. That's what we need to do with these antis is we need to not necessarily fight against them, but speak against them. Speak
Yeah.
against their facts that they've put out.
Yeah, because like we always say, there might be someone just reading off a paper that someone gave them that they have to read off of. So so if they don't even know the true facts, they're just reading
Mm-hmm.
off a paper that someone told them to, that, hey, these are facts, you need to read them.
Yep.
There's times where we can present them with real facts and that could change their minds super quick. I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying it could. So make sure you present people with facts. Like we always say, make sure you have your facts before you start talking out of your ass. Always have your facts ready. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of facts you have, I know Logan does this. He bookmarks everything possible. He bookmarks.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I have a little Word document that and on this I'm using a Mac right now. I don't have Word, so if I see an article I like, I email it to my work computer, and I have it on a Word document. I can also have that Word document on my phone, so I can send that over to someone. And like Shane has right there, a folder where you could put all that in
Yep.
there. Mm-hmm. And me and Shane the other day were talking. We're like, man, we've noticed a lot of good. Hey there, DC. Marketing is here, but
What's up, DC?
me and Shane were talking the other day, and we're like, man, there's a lot of great articles coming out about vaping from outside sources. saying, oh, well, there is actual studies of vaping being better. And they're coming from US studies. And we're like, man, this is good. For some reason, I knew it was too good to be true. And I'm pretty sure Shane did. We're like, man, there are all these really good studies. And then boom, out of nowhere. Oh, hey, let's compare it to opioids again. And oh, let's group it with
Yeah.
these idiots who are buying stuff out of someone's trunk that have THC or CBD that they're making at home in their meth lab.
Yeah.
we I used to have a philosophy teacher in high school. I know I'm getting off on another rant, but this is something that was super funny. He used to say to everyone, he would, because he knew people did drugs in school. He knew people did pills. They used cannabis. They used all other sorts of stupid things. He said, "Oh, okay. Well, for all you people who are under, or what do you call them? I think he called us undergraduate pharmacists. Y'all need to quit doing what y'all are doing because y'all are killing people." And he was
Wow.
pretty much talking to all the people who were in high school who were drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that for some reason always stuck in my mind because it made us all laugh. We're like, okay, yeah. But then eventually I realized, oh, okay, he's talking to all the people who think they know what they're talking about, but they don't, and they're giving it to someone, and it's making people sick and making people die. I've actually had a friend who used to do that, and he gave it to someone at our school. They passed out, and he went to jail. And then after that, I don't think he ever went back to our school because he had to go to an alternative school. It's just people wanting to compare us to stuff that can kill people or make people pass out or make people have a seizure, heart attack at a young age, and all these other different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying cannabis is doing that. I'm not saying any drug is doing that, but I'm saying there are drugs out there that can do it, especially at a younger age, especially if you don't know you don't know what's all going on inside your body if you're not constantly going to a doctor. So, like everyone always said earlier, there's a lot of people who always say, "Oh, well, I go to the doctor 4 times a year just for checkups." That's great because then you know what's going on inside your body. If you're a teen and you have no clue what's going on inside your body, especially when your body's going through millions of different changes, and you're
Yeah.
taking something that's supposed to do something different than what your body wants it to do, your body's going to tell it, "Hey, I'm done. I'm shutting down for a little bit."
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to know what's going on. And it's
Yep.
just your body telling itself, "Hey, you need to shut down before you die."
Mm-hmm.
That's your brain sending signals all the way through your body. So I mean, it's just something that he told us way back then is y'all are undergrad or no, I don't even think he called us undergrad pharmacists. I think he called us wannabe pharmacists or something like that. But it's stuff that people know, but they don't want to speak on it. He's someone who wanted to speak on it, so
Yeah.
maybe it's just stuff that we need to do instead of sitting out there and just getting mad about it. And this is one thing that what's his name? Vapor Swaggins. I saw him in chat. He said he posted something in the chat the other day. He said, okay, he put the article. He didn't put it in the advocacy group. He put it in the lounge on our Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord, please join. If you need help joining or anything like that, send me an email, a message on any social media or on YouTube. Me or Shane will help you get set up and we'll get you through everything so that way you can be a part of it.
Yep.
But he put something in there and he said, "Don't get angry." And the whole thing is pretty much don't get angry, but we need to fight this. I can't remember his exact words, but it was pretty much don't get angry, but just make sure that we're fighting this. This is something that they're saying about us, and it's not to get angry. They're trying to make us angry. They're trying to make us look stupid. They're trying to see how far they can push us before we blow up.
Yep.
But what he was trying to tell everyone is don't get angry, just fight it. Just use proper facts. If you have proper facts,
Yep.
send them. The person who put the article out there, send them those facts so that way they see, okay, yeah, hey, you're saying this and that, but these are the real facts about it.
Yeah.
If we can do that on any article, every article, or whatever it is, that's fine. That's perfect. But whenever we sit there and I know I have a bad tendency of doing this too. I see an article and I'm driving home or I'm in the car, or I'm at work, and my head is just spinning. I'm like, how stupid are these people that have degrees in journalism or have degrees in all these other fields, medical fields and whatever, politician, but you have a degree, but yet you're so ignorant to look at true facts and you want to put out an article that is a completely bogus fact or a completely bogus opinion that you want to say is a fact. To me, I hate seeing those. But the thing is we can't get pissed off about it because that's what they want us to do. I'm pretty sure that's why they're doing it. They're saying, hey, let's put out this article real quick. Let's see how many vapors we can piss off, and it'll help get all this out of the way so much easier and quicker. That's what they're probably trying to do.
Yeah.
But if we keep our cool and we present real facts, and there's a bunch of different things that we can do to help that out. If we do that, we'll be fine. And like E says, facts over feelings. Whenever your feelings are going, take a breath, take a moment. That's what I do. If there's something that pisses me off at work wise or anything in life, vaping wise or articles, I take a second, take a breath, I
Mm-hmm.
calm down, I finish reading whatever I'm doing or finish doing whatever it is, and then I go on about my business.
Yep.
But if it's something that's complete bullshit, then what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have your stuff in a row so that way you can actually talk about
Yeah.
it. And share those articles around so that way other people can see what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So that way but tell them the same message. Don't get mad, oh, that's what it was. Don't get mad, get motivated.
Yep.
That was the whole thing that me and Shane are all about. Don't let anything we tell you make you mad. Get
Right.
motivated, go out there and actually do something about it. Because if we just sit back and just get all mad and make all these stupid posts about, oh, this is total BS, and I'm not saying I don't do it because I know I do, but whenever we do those, we got to watch what we're saying. There's sometimes where I'll put something on my story and I'll delete it like 20 minutes after because I'm like, okay, I was speaking out of anger and I wasn't paying attention. But there's
Yep.
a lot of times where it's just there to get us motivated. If
Mm-hmm.
we don't get angry, if we get motivated, there's so much you can do to better this community. And that's just one thing that I want to put in for that. Shane, you
Right.
got anything on that one?
You know, Anthony Morella. If y'all don't follow him, he's what is it, Vapors TV on YouTube.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
always says it, and I don't know if he's in the chat or not. I haven't seen him, but sensible, calm arguments make the
Yep.
biggest impact. And if you can do that, that's hard for me to do because I do get emotional about stuff, and sometimes I do let my emotions take over. But Anthony makes that great point. Sensible, calm arguments. And that can be a huge win for us. We're making an argument, but we're doing it sensibly, we're doing it calm by using facts. If somebody doesn't want to listen, they're not going to listen.
Yep.
So that's where we come across into that emotional, if they keep talking over you, then you just calmly stop and say, whenever you're finished, please let me know so I can speak, and then let them go. So you have to, and it's hard to not say it this way. Sometimes you just got to step back. That's the easiest way for me to put it. Take a step back, like Jay says, just stop for a second, take a breath. Do not ever show that you are upset. You can be emotionless. I have the uncanny ability to just turn emotion off when I have to. And it's just, I can go stone cold if I need to. And when it comes to this, sometimes you have to be that way. I mean, you have to be Ben Stein. And if you don't know who he is, he's Bueller. The guy calling Ferris Bueller on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's Ben Stein. The monotone, just the facts. Well, you want to be kind of and golly, I'm using a lot of TV references today, but it's a cross between Ben Stein and Friday from Dragnet. Not necessarily monotone, but just the facts, man. That's all you want to do is state your facts, be calm about it, be sensible, be courteous. That is huge, especially when you're talking to someone and they just want to spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. Be courteous to them, especially be nice to them because you don't know if they're going to use that against you. If you don't know who they are, they could be the senator to they could be an assistant to the senator, and they go in there and say, well, this guy, blah 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 blah, and then the senator won't have anything to do with you. after that. So it's tough. It's a hard road to hoe, but you can do it. You just have to really concentrate and really pay attention to what you're doing.
Yep. Yep. So always make sure we're speaking out of facts, not out of feelings, is the main thing you should get out of this. And I changed the name to the Weekend Wisdom, episode 28, Rant Fest, because we went a little ranty. But sometimes y'all like the rant, sometimes y'all don't. It's whatever. But Shane, is there any other articles? I know you wanted to talk about the California, what was it, Los Angeles?
Yeah, Los Angeles was. Let's see, where was that one?
Was it a flavor or was it a vape?
I think it's a. Where'd it go? Here it is. Although already illegal to purchase vapor products under 21 in California, ants pushing banning the non-tobacco flavors, helping adults who quit to who smoke to quit. Says, imagine the outcry if they tried banning flavored alcohol because of teen drinking.
Yeah. And see, that's another one right there. I know we were talking about opioids and teens smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, but I believe there's more of an epidemic on teens drinking
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
drugs or teens on anything illegal that's not for them at that age or prescribed to them. For some reason, the government and the FDA want to look at vaping instead, and we all know why. It's like Shane said, we see the graphs start moving and vaping start coming up and cigarette sales start going down.
Oh crap! What happened? Well, hold on, people. Potato time. Give me just a minute and I'll get it back up. I'm working on it if you guys can hear me. Hey, there we go. Hold on, I'm muted. There we go.
Okay.
Now, let me get this. Oh, I have to move
Hey,
this.
that's not bad. An hour and 20 minutes, only one potato.
Yeah.
You started freezing up a little bit. I'm like, oh, it might happen. It did it earlier, but then it came back. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
hopefully it won't do it.
I think what it
That
was
ain't
is
too bad.
it was loading the page. it was it
Oh,
was like, okay, I have to load this article. Hang on. And then all of a sudden it was like, this article's too much. I give up. So, yeah, I'm not singing you a song, E.
I'm about to say. All right, so I guess we should be back. I think. Um, let us know if we are back, you guys. We need to have Back in Black as the as every time we have a potato and we come back, we
Yeah.
have Back in Black play.
Okay, where is now I can post this article. Oh, I hear
Just make
people.
it Back from Black.
Yeah, I hear people
It's a
outside
black
my door.
screen. Oh.
Y'all may
All
have
right, so we
to
are back, guys.
okay, I was about to say refresh the feed and it should pop up, should pop back up, but hopefully, sorry,
Yeah,
hopefully,
we're good
hopefully
now.
that's the last potato. So,
Yeah. So, like we were saying, is this is my opinion again, but I think that we should. I think that the FDA and the government should be looking at more things that are killing people. Angel, I'll explain to you what potato means later.
I saw it
But
in the chat.
but but like I think that the FDA and the government should go more after what's going on and what's killing people instead of what some rebel teens are going to find. Yeah, still enforce the law on that and maybe do something with enforcement, law enforcement, whatever it is, with the people who sell it, yada yada. Do something with them and get them on the same page to where we're not having these things go through to other people. But um honestly, I think that they shouldn't be focusing a lot on that. I mean, yeah, focus some on it, but we should be focusing more on like the opioid epidemic, the teens drinking epidemic, the suicide for teens epidemic. If we're just talking about just teens in general, I think we should go after illegal use of substance, illegal use of alcohol, and other things like that. Because I mean, when you're a teen, you don't want to. There's some people who don't want to call their parents and say, "Oh, well, I've been drinking," or "Oh, well, I'm a little too messed up right now to drive home from whatever influence I'm under." There's a lot of teens who don't want to do that, and if you don't do that and you drive home and you kill someone, that's on you for the rest of your life if you didn't die in that accident as well. So there's a lot of stuff that can go on with that. A wreck, killing people. Uh, I mean, what I would call a near miss, you wrecking and not hurting yourself or anyone else. A lot of things could happen within that could really destroy your life. So I mean, it's stuff that I think they should go after instead of going after something like this. I think
So,
Shane can agree on that one.
yeah. And if you're still having like laggy or flickering or stuff, just refresh the feed and it should pop back up. So, sorry.
Well, I think your computer keeps flickering to your background of the lightning.
Oh, even now? Oh, no.
Well,
Sorry.
not yeah, I haven't seen it do it like in the last minute, but I saw it doing it earlier. It would like flicker from us back. It would go off of us, go to your background, then go back to us a couple times.
Like this?
I think it's good now.
Yeah.
I have to wait a second to tell.
Yeah. A lot of times, like whenever I go to like pull up the article, it'll do it. It'll just flicker
Uh huh.
whenever I click on the article.
Oh
So I think that's what it is.
yeah. Yeah. We're working through it. We're
Yep.
getting there, guys.
Oh, we'll make it. We
Keep working.
always come back.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Um. But is there anything else you want to talk about on that article or another article?
No, that was it for me. I wanted to, we want to get all these flavor bands out here to the people so that way they can fight against it. And that way they know what's going on and they can tell, everyone else around them, hey, look, this is going on. We need to get out here and do something about it. Especially if it's getting close to where you live. A lot of people will depend on us for their links and for their advocacy. And what I'll tell you is that's great. I'm always here. We have an email set up, letyourvoicebeheard.so@gmail.com. If you ever need anything from us, please send an email. It's in the description. I think it's in the very bottom of the description. But please feel free to send us an email at any point in time if you need help with anything, if you need opinions on anything. Uh, so my internet is bouncing like tremendously, so we may want to finish it up. Well, no, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's still bouncing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello, Angela. She came in at the last minute. I don't know if she was watching the whole thing, but it's always great to see her. And she's another person who I highly rely on for articles and stuff. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure if any of y'all have any questions, every question I've ever had for her, she's always tried to help me out with answers. She's another great person. Logan, a lot of the people in the chat are great people to ask. So, if you're on the replay or if you're in the chat and you don't know, if you might need some help or something, just anyone that you see in this live chat right now are all great people to ask for advocacy help or where you can go to find your advocacy news. Like we said, Vapin Magazine is a really reliable one who stays on top of their game with Angela over there killing it like
Yep.
always. And then, of course, CASA, they've been doing really great these last couple months. I want to give them a huge shout out for that again. Make sure you do go subscribe to both of those websites. I believe you can subscribe to Vapun for free. If you want to buy the magazines, that's another thing. You got to purchase them. But over there on CASA, everything is free unless you want to donate money, which also helps out with everything else. But yes, so we are getting to the end of the stream. Shane, is there anything else you want to say before we potato again?
Every week, every show, let your voice be heard. Please get out there and do your advocacy. Be an activist. Make a difference. If nowhere, make a difference in your town, in your city. Recruit people. Do whatever you have to do, but let your voice be heard. Be a part. Make your voice part of the fight. So, and thank you to everybody in the
And
chat for tuning in.
yep.
Oh, it's okay, Angela.
Yeah, so Angela just saw it. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
It's
I mean,
YouTube's fault.
there's always a replay if you want to rewatch everything. It was a rant fest. That's pretty much how we summarized it. But yes, everyone, make sure, like Shane said, let your voice be heard. Make sure you get out there and you do something. Don't sit back and watch the fight. Be a part of the fight. I'm not saying you have to do everything, but like Grim Green and whoever he quoted from, you do have to do something. So make sure we do get out